music too high. I have scaled ideas, buried a few, and which one survive. I built brands before algorithms, before funnels had names. Watch people confuse attention with equity, so lame. This is not opinion. Got results and recognition. You are here, you are not browsing. You are paying attention.
Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to get into this conversation today. See if I can make this any better. Okay, can I move me over to the side? Guess not. Oh, wait, this is what I can do. Ha! There we go. You have seen her. I'm going to talk about her. Listen, it's happening. I don't know what else to tell you, but tune in today because we're going to still talk about Real Housewives of Potomac and more angelic emphasis on the ick things because I decided like I needed to discuss this because wow, over the years, this is the only Bravo Housewives franchise, well, only part of the franchise that I watch. I've been through all of them, Atlanta, OC, Beverly Hills, Jersey. I don't watch Salt Lake City. I think they're new. And at one point I think I watched Miami. But nevertheless, I think there are some important things in this that we as founders and business owners and leaders can learn from. And so I'm taking the time to use this situation as, yes, you guessed it, one of my inspiring textbooks. And so you have seen my thoughts that I've written out online. I share some things on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, but this is going to be me in real time talking about this situation. And so allow me to once again say what we're doing. We are talking about the fumbles heard around Bravo. And allow me to introduce myself. My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie. I'm a fractional brand and marketing professional. I'm also a foundership and entrepreneurship educator. I can finally put into words that I do that. And because I was having a conversation today about how educator has been on and off of my profile. And I'm like, I'm an educator. This is what I do, right? This is what excites me. This is what lights me up. And so here we are. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to the business at hand, right? And so for those of you who don't watch any type of Housewives franchise, the housewives are a group of individuals, a group of ladies who come together on a network and they talk about housewifey things. Sometimes they may or may not be married. Sometimes they are getting divorced. Sometimes they will be getting divorced once they're off of this TV show. We all know that there's a bit of a housewives curse, so to speak. And so anyway, but those of you that watch, you understand that there's a few things that happen and have happened in recent years in the Bravo sphere, as they call it. And if you remember when previous iterations of the Housewives started, there wasn't a lot of business going on. People were just happy to be on TV, to tell their story, to be seen. And I don't think that anyone at that time understood the reach and the impact that these shows would have on popular culture and also on consumers. And so ultimately, when you go on to one of these shows, it feels like you're entering into a real opportunity if you make it one. Yes, there is drama. Yes, there is backbiting. Yes, there are, what do you want to call it? Unnecessary mean girl behavior. Yes. And no, I'm not just talking about Giselle, right? There's mean girls, and can I just say, I'm usually team Giselle for a myriad of reasons, but I haven't really been pleased with her behavior this season. Nevertheless, still team Giselle. All right. So, but when you go into a situation like this, there's a real opportunity if you're willing to seize it. And the opportunity is honestly, and this is what you've begun to see with Housewives in the last, I want to say maybe 5 to 7 years, is that they always come out with something. They pop out with some stuff, right? Either it's a fragrance line, or it's a clothing line. It's an athleisure line. It's a houseware line. It's a book. It's an album. Remember when all the housewives were singing and none of them could sing? Nevertheless, they were leveraging the exposure that they get on this show. So if you think about it, this is an opportunity basically to do like a 13-hour infomercial if you're really paying attention. Unfortunately, the reason why we're here right now is because one of the housewives didn't really pay attention. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that say, "Oh, it's production, it's production, it's production." Actually, no, I saw the episode where Monique explains how it works, and I actually fact checked that. Listen, they are responsible for accommodations as a host. And as I look at this situation, I can't help but to say, oh my gosh, Angel, what have you done? This was definitely angel ick, if you will, that's happening. And I get it, right? You've been in a situation with people who have not treated you well, who have called you a catfish. And although I have to say, I don't think you look like the photos either, but this is the 21st century, and very rarely do people look like their photos. Okay, great. So no shade, no shame there. But this was the opportunity. In fact, if you'll notice, if you go back in the episode, and I wish I had the live footage, but I'm not that good yet, y'all. But um, you can see the and maybe it wasn't in this episode, but at one point there was a discussion that, oh yeah, we're launching this wilderness excursion company, right? And so I love it when you guys tune in. So let me take a minute and say hello. Definitely, she has been this season, and as someone who has lost a parent, let me say, I know that she's been embroiled in this will battle for the last 2 years or so. It takes about that long to get your mind right. And so I do feel that maybe some of this is because of that fight for her father, but also still in the grieving process. I'm not excusing it, I'm just explaining it, and that's it. So what's going on, Taylor Victoria? Hey, Lynette. No, she was not ready. She was not ready at all. But yeah, she mentioned that me and my husband Bobby. Okay, somebody says she says it like Whitney Houston, and now I can't unhear it. Okay. But yeah, me and Bobby, we're gonna be starting a wilderness excursion company. And yeah, so let me get this straight. So y'all you got a website, you got a chief of staff, you got a chef, you've got allegedly, there's probably more elements to this team, because usually if you have a chief of staff, you probably have a staff of some semblance. It could be 2 people, it could be 3 people, it could be 5 people, whatever it is, right? But what you don't have is the forward thought to say, you know what? I'm on a global platform. It's global, y'all. You hear me? It's global. It's global. It's not just, at first I said, national, but it's a global platform, right? And what we can do, hey, is ensure that regardless of how these, heifers have treated me over the last few weeks, what I can do right now is make sure, and I'm not going to call it the bag because I hate that, but what I can make sure of is that our bottom line does not suffer. That's what I can do. Y'all let me know if this is resonating with you. Put a yep in the comments and make sure you share it out. Taylor says, yeah, I don't think she was ready for anything on the show. Love her, but it's almost like she is reaching. Bless her little heart. Like, somebody needs to take her aside. And why didn't her friend, who's her friend? Why didn't her friend take her aside and do some sort of orientation for her? I'm just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, Giselle was she has been big bully, like big bully G. That's been her. Hey, Crystal Davis, thank you for the stars. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, 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 hey. Listen, Well, if somebody would tell me your systems aren't in place, well, listen, if she's paying that chief of staff, then her and her chief of staff need to have a conversation because at the end of the day, what we're not going to do is ever let the way somebody has treated us take us away from our bottom line. You guys know that I am obsessed with profitability. I'm obsessed with black and brown and even non-black and brown people getting to a place of profitability, getting to a place of sustainability, because when you are able to do that, when you are able to economically upend your life, that means that you are now changing the entire trajectory of your legacy. Go figure. You're changing your legacy. And so for me, I feel very strongly that, and I said this on a post recently, abundance is our activism. Because we live in a system that requires us to have resources. And money is not all that abundance is, but there is a part of abundance that's definitely about having money, having resources. And I want you to have that. And so when you have a situation like this, thank you so much, and mm, and you don't have friends that pull you aside because they're fighting for your position. Interesting point, Lynette. Thank you for that. Thank you, soul of a man, for being here. Guys, I'm so excited. Y'all are so here. Y'all are here. Share this out. Um, when when you can't seem to see the opportunity for you're blind, right? You're blind right now. And here's what this happens a lot with new business owners, right? And truthfully, it happens with established business owners as well, because when you're in the product, when you're in your business life cycle, everything that worked when you launched may not work when you're in maturity, when you're in growth. Everything that worked in growth and maturity may not work. And that way you end up sort of in decline. At every moment, it's just like life. At every moment, what worked before may not work now. So, I mean, I don't know if they're new business owners, but they're new to this business. And it's unfortunate that everything that was happening within this group um, really challenged her to the point where she decided to take what could have been an amazing demonstration of what I think it's Wanderlust. Somebody fact check that for me. Um, Company, I think it's called Wanderlust or Wander with Us. I don't know what it is. Y'all let me know in the comments. But I really feel like if she would not have let those hussies distract her, she could have put her whole everything on display, on display, on display. Shout out to Melissa Gorga, Housewives of New Jersey. Girl, don't you ever sing nothing else. Okay? Don't do that no more. Okay. So anyway, absolutely. Listen, I'm so glad you made it today. Listen, everything does not work all the time. Listen, as somebody who does this for a living and does it for other people, I just literally had to overhaul and revise a strategy that I created for a client because I kept looking at my results and I'm like, something about this, the math doesn't math. I don't know. I don't know why it's not mathing, but let me run some data. Listen, founders, leaders, if you don't become data driven, you are literally going to drive right off of the edge of a cliff into a very deep, shallow ravine, and you're going to scream on the way down. And I don't know what's going to happen at impact, but I can almost guarantee that you won't like it. So let's get back to this. So you're on a global platform. You literally have what? I think they do 20 something episodes. You have 20 hours, give or take, to showcase who you are and what you're doing. And you're telling me that you're a host of a trip, not only to an island somewhere, but to the state and the place from which you plan to do your business. And you decided to let these huzzified heifers, that's what I'm going to call them. I feel like I'm doing like a girlfriend thing, like a Jill Marie, Tony Childs thing, Jill Marie Jones, Tony Childs thing. But you let these heifers take you off of your game. And I also feel like from a certain standpoint, if you have all these people, a chief of staff, et cetera, who was picking the accommodations? I realize that you may have not had the opportunity to go in yourself because a lot of times, hey, founders, we can't do everything ourselves. I just had a conversation about an hour about that very thing. And so we can't do everything ourselves because that means that a lot of times we're efforting. And if we're looking at my new McKinsey success hierarchy, you know that efforting keeps founders stuck at a particular income level, at a particular growth level. It actually limits growth. But anyway, we're not talking about that today. Check me out on LinkedIn. I'm going to put up something that you're going to like. Listen, 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 listen. But you're selling one. So you don't have a Rolodex of high quality Airbnbs. You don't have relationships with somebody who could have put that together better for you? No. You know why? Because you did not want to use your resources appropriately because you were too busy trying to get your lick back. Now you're going to take the ultimate lick by way of the way you've positioned your organization. Now, can you come back from that? Well, sure. I mean, 8 times out of 10, you can come back from things. It's just a matter of what it will take. Because as I often teach you, negative brand equity makes everything harder. This is negative brand equity at its core. Because you decided, you made one decision that led to another decision, and all of them were bad. One, you didn't want these women to stay at your house, and that's fine. But I'm kind of an all or none type of person, and so if none of them stay, if one of them doesn't stay at your house, then none of them stay at your house. That line of demarcation I felt was petty and childish. Two, you put them in a space that was not upscale, not regal, and even the water didn't work. And apparently there was a foul smell coming from it. So guys, like if I'm launching a company that does excursions, high end, high quality, concierge level excursions, exactly. There was a way she could have worked that out. I get not wanting people in your house. I'm very particular about who's in my space. Then everybody should have been at another location. I was about to say domicile, at another location where when they were greeted, okay, they should have been greeted. They shouldn't have been questioning, oh, is this your house? And all of this. The experience should have started the moment they got off of the plane. The last thing that ran amok, y'all, excursions on the last day. Any travel agent will tell you that's probably not the best idea. Too many things can go wrong. Literally, they're an hour away. And then I think they were 2 hours away from this alleged fly fishing. If they were going to do any activity on the last day, it should have been something that would have relaxed them and prepared them for the flight, not something that they needed to travel to. So now I kind of feel like Stacey, and I'm really, really, really questioning my sanity when I agree with Stacey, because Stacey said I wouldn't let her plan a trip to the grocery store. And then Lynette and I were talking. I'm sorry, I put the business out in the streets, but we were talking about how there was such missed opportunity, and you didn't talk to Mauricio with his fine self. God bless him. God bless Mauricio Umansky. I hope you and Kyle work it out. I really do, because I liked y'all together. So okay, but you wanted to spend all your time in Sabi talking about, Bobby, and how you dropped a bag. And I'm like, I don't have time to break down this whole dynamic of wanting to prove how good Bobby is to you. But yeah, we're gonna stay on the business of the business of the business. But it's concerning. My original concerns for her is that this is not maybe a good space for her, that this is not a fruitful space for her, that this may not be someplace that she needs to be in. Like, just being honest, I don't think this is a space that she needs to be in. I don't think she's prepared for this. It's good to see the body diversity this season. We see some thick chicks. We got curves and stuff. Everybody is not out here looking like they need a sandwich. I think the body diversity is great. But one of the most valuable tools that a founder has, that a business owner has, is their mind. Their mind. And when your mind isn't clear, right, definitely not. But maybe. But when your mind isn't clear, I remember somebody said this to me a long time ago, when you mess with my head, you mess with my bread. And this is what happened. These women got into your head. You've been mistreated. I don't doubt that for a second. I don't doubt that they were catty, and even cattier than what we saw on screen. I don't doubt that they were catty. I don't doubt that they didn't treat you well. But let's remember that staying focused is the key. Staying focused is the key. This was your opportunity. Might you get another one? Sure. Might you come back from this? Sure. But this was an opportunity that you could have set yourself up to win and win bigly. And my concern is that you didn't. My concern for other founders is that you don't. The ability to look at an opportunity and see what it can be for you is a gift and a skill, and one that you need to use. Now, I'm not talking about all those people that want you to come speak for free to their ticketed event. I'm not talking about that, because some of y'all, how many of y'all have gotten those invitations? Yeah, I need you to speak for free, but the tickets are, $50, $100, $200. So why exactly am I speaking for free? I remember I had somebody tell me one time that they wanted me to come out of the country to speak, but they weren't going to pay me because I was talking about something I talk about all the time. You're not going to pay me when I leave the country? Then I won't be leaving the country. And before you can start that noise about, well, the people don't get paid to do the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. If you can guarantee free exposure at Super Bowl levels, please, by all means, slide expeditiously into my DMs. Do that. Just slide in. But we've got to not only be mindful of the type of exposure, but we've also got to be mindful of when opportunities are crossing our paths and what they require of us. This could have been an amazing, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This could have been an amazing opportunity for her to showcase what her business does with and I will stop doing that. What her and her husband's business is capable of doing, the type of experiences that she could create. She could have showcased her team. She could have made it all about her. But instead, it became all about them. And in that, Angel Massey created the Fumble, heard all around Bravo. It happens. I hope she can come back from this. I'm excited about what's happening in general. We got a founder mind happening. We've got so many things, right? I've been publishing things left and right, so please check me out on LinkedIn. But I'm super excited to share some things with you. But yeah, please, guys, I beg of you, it's 2026. Don't fumble opportunities when they are real. Do not let people take you out of your game, shake you off center. At the end of the day, like somebody told me, and I wish I could remember who it was, when you mess with my head, you mess with my bread. Don't let this be you. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Have you been on a weight loss journey and the scale just isn't giving you the results you hoped for? Well, meet Thinner, an FDA-registered, all-natural, homeopathic approach that addresses the root causes of how to lose weight and keep it off, especially if hormones are an issue. If you're tired of all of the guesswork and doing it alone, scan the QR code for more info, and let's get you started today.